Hello, I'm Dr. Bill Inman, and this is Star, and this is Abby. They're my 9-year-old puppies. They look like puppies, and I'm here to tell you about some good news and also about some bad news. This is the good news, this is the bad news. The bad news is we're feeding our dogs lectin-infused diets. All of our diets have lectins in it. If you don't know what lectins are, I'll tell you in a minute. Essentially, lectins are selectively and progressively destroying our animals' joints, gut, nerves, etc., aging these animals prematurely and in an accelerated fashion. That's the bad news. The other bad news is that it's present in all diets, essentially. There's no way to avoid them, and you're eating them too, and that's another video altogether. The good news is that we have a product that we can use to scavenge the lectins out of the diet, which is the nature of Dr. Bill's Glucosamine plus Boswellia plus product, and we're going to talk about that right now. Let me put my little puppy dogs down, and we'll talk a little bit more about this particular product. As I mentioned to you, lectins are chemicals that are seen in all diets, particularly grains. Corn's horrible, but all grains in general, and also animals that eat grains. They are not cooked out, they're not processed out, they're not digested out. So essentially there's no way to avoid them. Later on in this video we'll talk about a particular diet that you can buy commercially that's inexpensive, that is relatively lectin free, and I feed that to my dogs, solves lots and lots of problems, but I still have to give them a lectin scavenger to keep them from absorbing lectins even in that diet, essentially. So lectins are little buzzsaws. They're actually naturally occurring, developed through natural selection insecticides that basically tear up the inside of an insect, and so crops that are basically developed and promoted essentially for the last thousands of years and the last 50 years due to genetic modification have higher and higher levels of these lectins because they kill off the bugs that would infest the crop essentially, and so unfortunately we're ingesting them and they're producing a low-grade amount of problems to us continually. They do it to us, they do it to our animals, and they accelerate their aging. Not a good situation. So we have them in all foods, and there's really not a way to avoid them necessarily. The only way that we can relieve ourselves from that problem is to scavenge them out, and that's what we do with Dr. Bill's product essentially. Lectin scavenging is a brand new thing. You're going to hear a lot about it, a lot more about it in the future, but we put it in this product because it gives us a solution to these kinds of products. You might be asking who the heck I am essentially. I'm a veterinary surgeon, neurologist, and I've been in nutritional research at Washington State University for about 9 years, at which point I was going to school, medical school essentially, and then when I got out, instead of continuing in research, I went into clinical practice for about 35 years in working with nutritional and musculoskeletal and joint disease in the canine. I've trained over 10,000 graduate doctors, all of which will tell you that I'm an expert in this field. And that I also have been showing them techniques and methodologies to reduce and treat disease conditions involving the joints and also gastrointestinal systems of these animals. One of those things that we teach them is to put them on a lectin-restricted diet or by using lectin scavenging. And of course this is what it is we're having to talk to you about essentially. Now clinically, when we teach this to the veterinarians apply it in their practice essentially and send it home, and clients keep coming back to buy it over and over. They buy it for about 50 bucks a bottle essentially, which will last them, depending upon the size of their animal, anywhere from a month to 4 months depending upon the size of their creature essentially, and that's been a good situation. That clinical success is undeniable, and so we don't really have to have a bunch of proof outside of clinically. People continue to recur and buy the stuff over and over and over from their veterinarian. We're wanting to make it available to all people, so we're going to make it available to you. Dr. Bill's has a proprietary blend of lectin scavengers in it, which basically is available to the animal to basically take it out of the diet, essentially, so it doesn't get into the system to begin with. And then also it has Boswellia, pernicaniculus, which is green-neck mussel. It has MSM. It has a number of other things that will repair the damage that lectins have done to the diet. So we not only are able to keep it out of the diet, essentially keep it out of the body, but also repair the damage that is continually being done by lectins in the system. What we need you to do is to realize this. There's more research that we have and more videos that we have explain the ins and outs and the chemistry and the biophysiology of why it is that we have what we have in this particular product. I was approached for years to try to come up with a product that basically would do what this product does, and I was too busy doing this or that or whatever the heck I was doing essentially to come up with it. But as my dogs started to get older and started to slow down, I realized it was time for me to go ahead then and come up with a formula. And so we put this formula together, and it's worked remarkably well, so much so that we want to provide it for you. I need for you to go below, click on the button, and order this product immediately, and put your dog on it immediately, because it'll be 1 day sooner that your dog will have lack of inflammation, better joint motion, better attitude, better coat, better digestion. And I think you'll be very happy. You're going to see a response in 7 to 10 days. There's a money-back guarantee, so you have there's no risk involved whatsoever. You'll see a response or you won't. The chances that you're going to see a response in 7 to 10 days is well over 95%. So we're confident that you're going to get the responses that all of the veterinarians have seen in their clinical application of this through their clients. Also, if you order today, essentially what we'll do is we'll absorb the shipping and handling, and also if you put in a code, the code is Puppy Pill, P-U-P-P-Y space P-I-L-L. If you put that into the coupon code, just type it in, it'll also knock another 25% off the cost, which is very close to what our actual wholesale cost is for this product. We want you to try it, be happy with it, and reorder it theoretically. And so that's the approach that we'd like to use. By the way, the diet that I told you that was low in lectins that you're available to get, you can get from Costco and other pet food stores. It's called Nature's Domain, and it is in fact the sweet potato and the salmon version, not other versions, just that version. Salmon has no lectins in it, and sweet potato for some reason doesn't have very many lectins in it at all, although it does have some. Regular potato is a huge amount of lectins, so not good. But only that particular diet. I've put thousands of animals on that diet, and just putting them on that diet has improved their coat, their allergy, their demeanor, etc., because it's low in lectins, and so that becomes kind of important. Lectins have the ability to burrow a hole in the gut, and basically food goes straight from the body and from the ingester right into the body, doesn't get digested, and raises havoc. Also, the lectin will go straight to the joint, tear the joint apart. So we need to avoid lectin therapy or lectin injury to the body by blocking it through a lectin scavenger. I'd have you click on that link right now and order this. Don't order it next week or think that you're going to order it next week, because you're not. And I basically would have you look at this product, use it, and love it, because we do, and it works really well. Thank you, and have a great day.